Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about the ongoing trade wars. Gonna happen Tuesday. And because of that, the price of Bitcoin has gone down. Crypto market's gone down. Not only crypto stocks as well. And this video is about what to expect. Hopefully this is just a lot of people just positioning their negotiating power and the countries come to the table and it all works out. But if it doesn't, in the long run, us, the consumers, will suffer due to higher price of goods, inflation, and the price of Bitcoin and crypto can continue to go down. So let's cover this. And yeah, this is FUD for sure. I don't think it'll last forever, but hey, we got to prepare ourselves in the event that it does. So do I anticipate that the prices of Bitcoin and our favorite alts will continue to go down if this goes on? Yes. Will this delay the bull market and alt season and all of that if this continues? Yes. But if you have strong conviction in these projects as well as Bitcoin, and we know where the future is headed with these projects and digital assets as a whole, it's just a small, bump in the road right now. So let's get into it and see what's going on in the world of just global economics right now. Things are kind of crazy, for sure. But again, we don't fear out. We just continue to focus, make sure we're paying attention to what's going on in the world, and make sure that we invest accordingly. So that's all the news right now this weekend. Actually started on Friday. Executive order was signed here in the U.S., basically imposing 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico, Canada, and a 10% duty on China. So energy resources from China will have a lower 10% tariff. So the tariff on Canadian goods are expected to take effect on or after 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday. There's no official metric on when the tariffs would be lifted. Tariffs would escalate if the countries retaliate in any way against the U.S., and that has happened already, at least verbally. Trump has long favored tariffs as a tool to negotiate demands from U.S. trading partners, including long-standing allies. Canada is an ally, and Mexico is also an ally. And so he promised to employ tariffs for three main purposes: to raise revenue for the country, I agree, to bring trade into balance, and to bring rival countries to the negotiating table. I don't disagree with any of this. However, economists kind of are not sure that tariffs is the way to do this. So that's what's going on. Now, what's going to happen? Us as the consumer, what's going to increase? The price of food. That's going to increase. We get a lot of stuff from Mexico. We get fresh fruits, avocados, beer. Believe it or not, Modelo is like the #1 beer here in the U.S., so that's going to go up higher. A bunch of other things. Livestock, we get grain from them, we get meats from them, poultry. Same thing from Canada. We get steel, fuel. So let's see what happens. And Mexico also, car and car parts. Hopefully this doesn't last too long, because if it does, then the price of us, repairing vehicles, if it gets damaged in an accident or buying a new car, those prices may go up. And that's not what we want to see. I'm a craft beer guy myself, but Constellation brands under that umbrella, you have Modelo, Corona, Casa. They have tequila, spirits under them, so that may go up as well. Then you have home construction and furniture. That's not good. That may go up as well. 30% of what U.S. uses mainly annually comes from Canada. So basically, they're saying the skeleton and skin of homes that you see, new builds or even remodels, the framing, roof, and siding consist of softwood lumber, which is a big export of Canada. So we don't want to see that type of stuff, right? Electronics, toys, and appliances. We know that's the big thing from China. That includes cell phones, TVs, laptops, video game consoles, monitors, and all the components that power them. China is a major supplier of that, as well as home appliances. Samsung, LG, refrigerators, dishwashers, microwaves, that type of stuff. So not good, guys. But in the short term, we get it. It's if you got to do tough things in order to get good results. And we'll see how this plays out. But I want to play this video for you guys. It's a good debate between someone who's involved in exports and importing, versus, someone who's kind of educated in economics. And he explained what tariffs will do to the economy and to the everyday consumer like you and me. Let's listen.
Who pays the tariffs?
The Chinese government pays the tariff.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I'm an importer and exporter for 20 years. When a product comes into the U.S., there's something called a tariff sheet.
Okay.
I, as the buyer of that product, follow U.S. law and pay the tariff. I'm an American citizen, an American taxpayer. I pay that tariff to the U.S. government, and that increase in the cost, I then sell to you for a higher price because I've got to cover that tariff.
Then what about?
There is
then
no.
What do you say? Our tariffs are higher when they go overseas as opposed to theirs coming here.
Tariffs are never a zero-sum game. Tariffs are a tool. For example,
Okay.
you might say, you want to sell us your beans.
Yeah.
We are going to give you a low tariff if you buy our corn. But the cost of the tariff is ultimately always borne by the consumer.
Don't you think at the end of the day there may be more competition within the market of the U.S.
And
government?
you're confusing the question. This is not a question of competition. The point we're discussing is who bears the cost of the tariff.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you if it's good policy for the U.S. government to tax beans and for the Chinese government to tariff corn. But what I can absolutely assure you is that a product that comes into the U.S. is paid for by a U.S. company, and the increased cost of that is borne by all of us. I am an importer and exporter. I do it for a living.
Okay. Then what's the alternative if at one point in our country's history was tariffs that paid for our economy?
Tariffs don't pay for your economy.
But they did. We didn't have income taxes before.
That was before we had municipal infrastructure.
Correct. My understanding is that the tariff is lopsided to benefit other countries as opposed to ours. The suggestion is just to bring it up to make it equal.
That's why you have free trade agreements, right?
Right.
But it doesn't mean that even within the free trade agreement, there are not tariffs. If there's one thing you should take away from this extended conversation is you are always paying the tariff.
You know what? I'm not educated in that. Fair enough.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
That's good.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Interesting. So basically, the cost will be passed on to the consumer. This is someone who does it for a living. And I get the arguments being made in order to, bring the trading power equal as far as one country paying more of the share versus another country. But at the end of the day, while all of this is going on and all this is being figured out, inflation will continue to go up, unfortunately, if this is true. So I don't know. So Canada, they retaliated. They plan to put a 25% tariff on 155 billion worth of U.S. goods, and that includes beer, wine, bourbon, fruits, fruit juices, vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. And this is what Trudeau said, and he's on his way out in the next 6 months. But in his statement to the Canadian people, that is kind of scary, right? He says, many of us will be deeply affected. A lot of people will go through dark times. Why would you say that, right? We're asking you to support one another, to be there for your friends, your neighbors, and your fellow Canadians, adding that it might be in the country's best interest to forego American products altogether, like Florida orange juice. Now, if we dissect this, many of us will be deeply affected. A lot of people will go through dark times. What kind of message is that to say to your people? Dark times. Sounds like someone that's in it for the long run. Now, I don't know when the next prime minister comes in and his opinion, hopefully it changes, not like this. But if he's taking this position and, Mexico, that the president over there, she takes the same position, this thing can go on for a while, guys. And I don't like it. So looking at the Fed watch, we have another Fed meeting scheduled for March. We just had one last week and interest rates were not cut. And the market is currently predicting that we will not cut again with all of this happening right now. And if prices rise and these trade wars continue to happen, probably won't be any cuts. And hopefully we don't think about raising. That would not be good at all. At all. Charlie Barriello, if you follow him on Twitter, if not, take a look. He has some good economic information. Markets are predicting in March a hold, May hold, and June possibly a 25.25 cut. July hold, September hold, October hold, December possibly a cut. Now, this is totally different from what the market is predicting last year. Last fall, you hearing Jerome Powell talk, you were thinking we were going to have 3 or 4 cuts this year. Now it's looking like we're only going to have 2 cuts. Now, if we're only going to have 2 cuts and this dark cloud is hanging above us, things may be bumpy for a while. I truly hope that it all changes and this is just, getting people to negotiating table and this is behind us. But fear and greed currently is at greed. The longer this continues, I can see us heading to neutral. And just looking at crypto bubbles here, just looking at the crypto market, just a lot of our favorite products and projects right now are in the red. I don't see any green, nothing in the green. But for me, this is an opportunity, like I always say, to get things at a discount, things that I were missing out on that I want to add to my portfolio. Now is probably the time to do so. And the one that's staring me in the face right now is this Hype Coin. It's a leverage play, decentralized leverage platform, and I like it a lot. And I was waiting for it to be under 20 bucks, and I think I may get my opportunity. Made a video recently about Litecoin. Litecoin, if you get it at 100 or anything under than 100, is a steal. Bitcoin, obviously, at under 100 is a good prop, but a lot of good prices. Sui under $4, a good deal, and the list goes on. So you know my favorite alt if you follow me on this channel here. So just taking a look at these charts here, daily active addresses, shit's looking like it's going down right now. You know, the news is not great, right? You just see we were on our way up here, and then now, you know, it's going back down. Still strong numbers. Solana daily active addresses about 4.4 million, Near 2.8 million, Aptos 1.6, ETH 360,000, Toncoin 177,000, AVAX 54.9, Cardano 31.6 thousand. Daily transactions, and just look at that going down. So Solana transactions are down, but they're still at 56.5 million, Near 5.2 million. And going down the chart here, Avalanche 341,000 and Cardano 58,000. So we look at DeFi. Let's look at the 1 day change. Better yet, let's look at the 7 day change. We see that TVL is still strong for ETH at 62 billion, but for the past 7 days down 6.2%. Look at Solana. Solana 7 day down 13%, and TVL is at 10 billion. Going down the list here, Sui is down 9.7%, 1.5 billion in TVL. AVAX is down 8.4%, 1.3 billion in TVL, and then Hyperliquid is down 20%, almost 21%, 1 billion TVL. So still strong TVL numbers, but the trend is going down, guys. So, you know, nothing to be concerned about, but I would just say that some dips are happening, and we're going to probably get more dips. So have some money on the side if you want to invest. Looking at stocks, they're not faring any better. Stock, you know, Dow Jones Future, look at that. S&P 500 and NASDAQ and Russell 2K, but they're all down, all in the red. So tomorrow's market should be a bloodbath. And then still some good news. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor is not fraying away. He's still in the Bitcoin. He don't care what's going on. For him, it's just like me, just cheaper prices, cheaper entry points. And they announced that they're offering 563 million stock offering to help pay, and most of it is going to be used to acquire more Bitcoin. So offering more shares in order to get more Bitcoin. That's what they're doing. Selling something at a depreciating fiat, and then you're accruing something that's a lot more stable, that's more scarce, and that's going to appreciate over time. So in the short term, yeah, the stock I hold, MicroStrategy, is going to be diluted. But in the long term, if you have a long-term outlook, you see what the future is and what he's trying to do, that you will be making some money in the long term. So also some good news. India reassesses crypto policy amid global shifts. So with the incoming administration that we have here in the U.S., aside from the EU, the world is warming up to crypto. And they once considered banning crypto. I know Bitcoin is allowed to be purchased and held by in India. But now they're looking at it again, because there were some talks of maybe banning it and whatever. But I think it's a positive thing that they're relooking at everything, the regulations, and maybe it'd be more friendlier there. And the country as a whole probably is going to have to take a look at that. Also, Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know sometimes it sounds like he's off his rocker, but I agree with him sometimes. And this is something that I agree with him on. He tweeted that Trump tariffs have begun. Gold, silver, and Bitcoin may crash. Good. You know, not time to be fearful. Good, because that's a discount. We will buy more after the price crashes. Real problem is debt, which will only get worse. Crashes mean assets are on sale. Time to get richer. The The money is made in the bear. Money is made. Biggest return on investment is when you buy low and sell high. So when I see this, yes, it sucks. Yes, it's going to suck going to the supermarket, getting gas, buying everyday goods if this thing continues. But in the long term, if you're investing in these, if you can have any money aside, you know, get it right now. It's just some good deals, not financial advice. And just looking here, man, just looking at the market, coin market cap, Bitcoin's under 100 grand. XRP's down under $3, 279, good deal. Solana, I'm waiting for it to hit like 200 or something under 200 to get more. You know, ADA's under $1, good, you know, good entry point there. AVAX is about to hit something under $30. Sui's under $4. Hedera's at 27 cents. Made a video about it last week or earlier this week. Just a lot of good deals. And we just talked about Litecoin. Hyperliquid is something I'm trying to get an entry in, especially if it hits under 20 bucks. Right now, it's not a bad price either. So just a lot of good deals everywhere, guys. ICP is under 10 bucks. Aptos is under $7. So a lot of good deals, guys. Jupiter is under $1. So I share this with you just because I always have a positive outlook on this market, just because I know where it's headed. Yeah, it might not happen in the timeline that I thought it was going to happen or that you thought, but we're still early February, guys. Still early February. Historically, these bulls and the top of the altcoin market really doesn't hit until the end of second quarter, third quarter, maybe a little bit of the fourth quarter. So we're still early. Everything's still on track. Just a little bump in the road. And in the long run, hopefully it benefits all parties involved, right? So we just got to deal with this for a while and stay positive. So that is my video for the day, guys. Trade wars are ongoing. Hopefully this is just all bravado, people just positioning and saying whatever to get some people to the table, and nothing really happens. But if it does, we got to be prepared for it and know what's going to happen. So things may get a little bit more expensive for a little bit, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months. But at the end of the day, no country wants their people suffering. People will come to the table and things will get settled. And we will continue with our bull run. But right now, while all that's going on, we have deals. So look at your favorite projects and get some more entry points. That's all I got for today. So guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Until next time. Bye.